And we welcome you back to Port St. Lucie one more time, Digital Domain Park, for the 4A State Championship game, the final game of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals here in Port St. Lucie. And boy, what a game we should have for you here this afternoon. The Bishop Verot Vikings with a record of 29-2, and the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders at 26-3. Along with Mark Schambach, I'm Marty Paulman, rejoining you here at Digital Domain Park. Last year, these two teams met in a 3A State Championship game. It went all the way to the bottom of the seventh, a walk-off single for Bishop Verot. They won the state title 4-3, their first championship since 1994. That was under the coach Tom Lasoro. Now first-year coach David Nelson bringing the Vikings back here. He was an assistant coach last year on this team. And he brings Bishop Verot back to the state championship game against Pensacola Catholic, a rematch. The only rematch we've had this year of these state championship games from last season in these baseball finals.
Well, Marty, it's got the feeling of a big-time, big boxing match. There's energy in the park. You got two teams with a combined total of losses of only 5 losses all year. So look for any kind of a freak play in baseball could swing the tide, but I expect a very good ball game, well played by both sides.
Both teams used complete game performances yesterday by their respective starters. For Pensacola Catholic, Avery Geyer going 7 innings, giving up 5 hits and 2 runs as Pensacola Catholic defeated Bishop Moore 3-2. And Bishop Verot got a 1-run win of their own in the semifinal last night, beating Monsignor Pace 1-0. Jeff Passantino, 12 strikeouts and a 3-hitter to beat Monsignor Pace. And Bishop Verot, the visiting team, leading off is the right fielder number 7, Josh Garcia. And he will face Cooper Jones, and the first pitch is in for a strike, 0-1. The lineup for the Vikings, batting second is the second baseman number 14, Paul Breton. Hitting third, the third baseman number 15, Nick Rivera. Batting fourth and left field is number 11, Chase Vogelbach, as the pitch misses outside 1-1. In fifth today, hitting fifth is the DH number 22, Jeff Passantino. Batting sixth, the first baseman number 12, Evan Doherty. Hitting seventh and catching number 13, Frankie Romano. Batting eighth, the center fielder number 1, Brock Graber. And hitting ninth, the shortstop number 16, Bobby Brennan. And Josh Garcia fouls it off, and he is behind 1-2. And on the season, Cooper Jones 7-0, his 12th appearance, 11th start of the year. In 48 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 28 hits, 7 earned runs, 28 walks, 55 strikeouts, and a 1.01 ERA.
Cooper Jones attacking the strike zone. You have to like that if you're Bishop Verot.
And Garcia chops up the middle. Going to be a tough play behind second base. No chance at all to get Garcia to first. John Burkett made the play, but that ball was hit so high into the ground that Garcia used his speed for the infield single. He was 1 for 3 last night. He gets an infield hit here to start the game for Bishop Verot.
Well, the big bounder, the only chance they had was if the shortstop could have cut it off before the second hop. No chance for the second baseman.
Paul Breton, the second baseman, will hit. Bishop Verot, defending state champs in 3A, also won a state championship in 1994. Pensacola Catholic state champs in 2003 as the throw to first. Ooh, almost had him there. Good move over. Richard LeBounty, 29 years, 620 wins now. 2003 state champs in Class 2A. Runners-up last year. And Breton shows bunt and takes it for a strike, 0-1. And he is trying to get that second state championship.
Well, you think about those numbers for LeBounty. That's in excess of 21, close to 22 wins per season in his 29 seasons.
Well, that pitch is inside, and I think it hit him. It did. Or did it? No, it's a strike. It hit the bat, so it's 0-2 to Breton.
Well, Breton squared to bunt. Ball came up and in, and as he tried to get out of the way, apparently struck the handle of the bat. It'll be considered a foul ball, 0-2.
Jacksonville Providence, the Stallions, are the 3A champs. They just defeated Boca del Rey American Heritage 2-0 in our opening game of the day. This is our second and hopefully final game. What is the final game? The only question is the weather will hold off for us. It's expected to come in at some point this afternoon. These games were moved up 5 hours today. The 3A game from 4 p.m. to 11 a.m. as the pitch misses up high, 1-2. This 4A game was originally scheduled at 7 o'clock tonight, moved up to 2 o'clock. Right now, cloudy skies, very windy, or a little windy, and it's 86 degrees at Digital Domain Park.
Marty, I think principal's sister, Kirsten Martin, has a few connections there. They've been saying their prayers to get this weather to move around us.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Breton, who was 1 for 2 last night, strikes out swinging. First strikeout of the game for Cooper Jones, and that's 1 out.
What a big swing there, from being hit by a pitch almost to striking out. They do not advance the runner.
Well, if Sister Martin has some pull, which she thinks she does, we would appreciate holding off just a couple more hours so we can finish up these baseball finals. 1 out with a runner at first. Here's Nick Rivera, the third baseman. And that is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 defensively for Pensacola Catholic.
It was an all-Roman Catholic Final Four in this classification of 4A.
Yep, Monsignor Pace, Bishop Verot, Bishop Moore, and Pensacola Catholic as the defensive alignment for the Crusaders. Chad Westlake at first, John Burkett at second. Throw to first is not in time. Chase Kiefer at third. The shortstop is Drew LeBounty. In the outfield, Cody Henry in left. The center fielder, James McGee. The right fielder is Joe Klepak, and Tanner Halstead behind the plate. Cooper Jones on the mound. 0-1 is outside, 1-1. David Nelson, in his first year as the head coach of Bishop Verot, took over as was an assistant for the last couple of years, and he said last night after the game, after they beat Monsignor Pace, we know Pensacola Catholics wanted us. They've got us. We expect a dogfight today. There goes the runner. Hit foul over to the Bishop Verot dugout, and it's 1-2.
The runner clapping his hands in disdain for that foul ball. He had that base stolen on the pitcher, but Rivera saw a pitch he could drive the other way, just didn't get enough of it, fouled it off.
So 1-2 the count with the runner at first, 1 out. Richard LeBounty yesterday after the game said, we don't really care who we play, but he kind of had to know in the back of his mind he'd like another shot at Bishop Verot. Both these teams are nationally ranked by different media organizations. And timeout called as Jones taking a little bit too much time.
That's a classic move right there, trying to freeze the runner. And very well done. If you look at the outfield, everyone's playing spaced out, hugging the foul lines. Very traditional straightaway play. You'll see a great contrast once you see Bishop Verot take the bat. Pensacola Catholic will play some shifts.
1-2 hit in the hole. The Bounty makes the play. The throw across is not going to be in time as Westlake comes off first base to come up with it. 2 infield hits now for Bishop Verot, hitting it right in the exact right place. Drew LeBounty making that play in the hole, but no chance to get Rivera first and second, 1 out. And quickly we'll have Coach LeBounty come out and talk it over with his pitcher.
Well, Drew LeBounty going deep in the hole. He's recovering from Tommy John surgery. Happened when he was playing basketball. Coach LeBounty tells us that he's fully recovered, but he didn't get to plant. He was thrown off his back foot, falling away. So
missed last season with that, and committed to the University of South Alabama. A few of these players are. Well, in Mobile there, South Alabama nearby, is also Avery Geyer, last night's winning pitcher, with an offer from South Alabama.
2 on and 1 out. Cleanup hitter Vogelbach.
Chase Vogelbach, the left fielder who drove in the only run of the game last night for Bishop Verot with a double in the third inning, drove in Nick Rivera from first, and then later in the game crashed into the wall in left field. He was okay as he pops up the first pitch down the right field line, heading towards the seats, and almost caught over there against the wall by Klepak. Yeah, Joe Klepak almost able to make the catch down there in the bullpen, but it's 0-1. And Chase Vogelbach took quite a hit last night going for a foul ball down the left field line, but he was okay, ended up staying in the game, and said he was in a lot of pain, but no concussion, so he was okay to stay in, and probably aren't going to take him out at the top of the 7th anyway in a 1-run game. The 0-1 as the runners fake, then stay. It's outside, 1-1. Sounds like a truck's backing up. Might be our truck. Yeah, to say they're out of here. Our crew is out of here at 4:05 whenever we
start the packing.
1-1 is hit to first. Westlake will go to second for 1. Back to first. No play at first. Instead, a wheel to third by LeBounty. And the runners are safe at first and third. The fielder's choice goes 3-6. Rivera is out at second.
Heady play there by LeBounty. Knew he had no play at first base. Faked the throw, hoping the aggressive runner would make a hard round to third base.
Here is the hero of last night for Bishop Verot on the mound, Jeff Passantino, the designated hitter today. At the plate last night, he was 0 for 3, but he struck out 11 and allowed only 3 hits in a complete game. No walks to the sophomore. As Bishop Verot won 1-0 over Monsignor Pace. Coach David Nelson saying one of the best performances he's seen from his pitcher against a really good Monsignor Pace lineup. 2 outs, runners at first and third, and the pitch from Jones is outside 1-0.
Well, first and third situation with 2 outs. Be curious to see if they put a runner in motion, whether Bishop Verot will try to throw the runner out at second base straight up.
1-0 on the way from the right-hander. It's hit in the air to right center. That is trouble, and that is going to get in for a hit. 1 run will score. McGee's throw coming in. They're going to send the runner Vogelbach to the plate. The throw is not in time. It's 2-0 Bishop Verot.
That's some good wheels there, scoring on that ball in the gap all the way from first base.
So Jeff Passantino, who got it done on the mound last night with a 2-run double. Actually, he had a single. He was held to first on the play. But he drives in the first 2 of the game, and it's 2-0. Gets that ball right in between McGee and Klepak in right center field. So Bishop Verot strikes first with the 2-out hit. Rivera and Vogelbach scored, and Vogelbach all the way from first. You're right, good wheels. Just beat the tag under the catcher Tanner Halstead. Here's Evan Doherty, the first baseman. Takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. 2-0, Bishop Verot breaks on top. They've already scored more runs the first inning than they did all of last night. And get that early lead against Pensacola Catholic, 1-0. Check swing into the screen behind the home plate. It's 1-1. How important is scoring first been? It seems like almost every game this week, the team that scores first wins. And by the way, with Providence shutting out American Heritage, 10 shutouts this week. That is a new record for the FHSAA baseball finals. The previous record, 8 in 1958. It's been 54 years, and that shows you kind of where the pitching has been, but also with the new bats and the baseballs, the offense has been a little bit down this year. 2-1 the count to Evan Doherty, the first baseman. There's a drive into right field. Klepak going to have to back up. Now he'll move in as that wind swirls around a little bit, and he makes the catch for out number 3. But Bishop Verot gets 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors in the inning, and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the first in this 4A state championship game. It's Bishop Verot 2, Pensacola Catholic coming to bat. You're watching the FHSAA baseball finals here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
2A, grade A. That's Bright House Network Channel 47 and HD Channel 1147. Also check out the baseball page on FHSAA.org for a list of championship game replays. Come on.
All right, to the bottom of the first we go. Bishop Verot with 2 runs in the top of the first. A 2-run double by Jeff Passantino, and they lead Pensacola Catholic 2-0 in our 4A state championship game here on the FHSAA network. Marty Paulman and Mark Schambeck back in Port St. Lucie. And the lineup for the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders, leading off the second baseman is number 8, John Burkett. Hitting second at third base, number 14, Chase Kiefer. Batting third, the shortstop is number 5, Drew Labauti. Hitting fourth and playing left field, number 17, Cody Henry. Batting fifth at DH is number 13, Avery Geyer. Hitting sixth and catching number 3, Tanner Halstead. Batting seventh, playing right field is number 24, Joe Klepak. Hitting eighth at first base, number 44, Chad Westlake. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 22, James McGee. And they'll face the Bishop Verot right-hander, Dominic Stefanacci, 9-0. His 13th appearance, 12th start, 52 innings pitched, allowed 30 hits, 12 earned runs, 13 walks, 57 strikeouts, and a 1.62 ERA. Pasantino was 10-1 after the win last night. Got his third shutout of the year, and Stefanacci 9-0 at the top of this Bishop Verot pitching staff. John Burkett will lead it off for Pensacola Catholic. And he had a RBI double yesterday, which 2 for 4 with a double and a single. His RBI double in the second put the Crusaders up 3-0. Turned out to be the winning run as Pensacola Catholic held off Bishop Moore 3-2. 1-0 the count. And that is down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Defensively for Bishop Verot at first base, it's Evan Doherty. The second baseman, Paul Breton. Third baseman, Nick Rivera. At short, it's Bobby Brennan. As a ball hit into right center, that is in for a base hit. And a leadoff single for Burkett, his third hit of the FHSAA Finals. A leadoff single in the bottom of the first. In the outfield, the center fielder there is Brock Graber. Josh Garcia in right, Chase Vogelbach in left field.
John Burkett jumps on that pitch.
Frankie Romano behind the plate, and Dominic Stefanacci on the mound. That was you're right, jumps on the pitch for a leadoff single.
I told you it was going to be like a heavyweight bout. It is starting out that way. Verot draws first blood. Now Pensacola coming back.
Here's Chase Kiefer, the third baseman. Bunting, and going to be a tough play for Stefanacci. He needs to hurry. It's not going to be in time. Infield hit for Chase Kiefer. Nice bunt, and it was kind of slow rolling, and then Stefanacci kind of slow to the ball. I think his catcher's telling him that. Looks like Frankie Romano said, hey, get off the mound a little quicker. First and second, nobody out. As
well, noticing with the pace that he went and got that ball, it wouldn't be surprising if we see another bunt, back-to-back bunt situation right here.
So that'll bring up Drew LeBounty, the shortstop. LeBounty yesterday in the semifinal win was 2 for 4, scored a run in the first inning.
LeBounty handles the bat well, likes to go the other way.
First and second, nobody out. Pretty good sized leads at both bases. Breaking pitch is in for a strike from Stefanacci. It's 0-1.
You know, I want to make sure I point out that all day yesterday, Pensacola used a specific shift over to the right to avoid the kind of gap shots that cost them 2 runs there in that first inning. Some reason they elected to abandon it, and only Coach LeBounty knows what the strategy decision was there.
The 1-1 outside, 2-1, and if they had played that shift like they did yesterday, that ball pretty much probably gets caught, the one that fell in for 2 runs last inning.
Most likely does by the center fielder.
2-1 the count, though. The Crusaders quickly trying to come back. Sophomore Dominic Stefanacci, both the Bishop Verot pitchers, sophomores, Pasantino last night and Stefanacci today, and that is outside for ball 3, 3-1. On deck, Cody Henry.
Well, Coach LeBounty mentioned that he's got 3 guys at the top of the order that all hit like leadoff men, meaning they see a lot of pitches, they got good eyes at the plate, they don't swing outside the zone.
And this may be too slowly hit to second for 1, and then nice slide there by Kiefer as he takes out the second baseman Breton. Slowly hit ball that time to the shortstop Brennan, the fielder's choice, 6-4. Kiefer is out, and to third is Burkett. LeBounty at first with 1 out. Kiefer doing a good job of making sure no double play. And
Coach Nelson's going to argue that the runner slid past second base, which in the high school rule is a no-no.
Yeah, and the runner at first would be out if that's the case. I don't know if you have an argument there. It looked like it was the slide happened at second base. There's David Nelson in his first year as the head coach. Assistant for a couple years at Bishop Verot under Tom Lasoro. Bishop Verot, this is quite an argument here. We saw one in the last game, American Heritage. Carr Mazza really was in the umpire's face after a close play. Bishop Verot looking like the Pittsburgh Pirates of the 80s today, the gold and the black. The gold hats, just to call those the the pirate hats. Still arguing. Don't think he's going to win this argument.
Umpire dismisses him, pats him on the back, and says, what do you want me to do?
Change the call? That's what I want you to do. So if you ask that, the coach would say, why don't you change the call?
Yeah, I think he'd already established he wasn't changing the call, though. So we'll play on with 1 out, first and third.
Yep, and Cody Henry, the left fielder. the quarterback for the Pensacola Catholic football team. Yesterday, Henry 2 for 3, singled and scored in the first, 2 singles in the game. There you see, there is Sister Martin behind home plate again today, right behind the batter, a little bit on that third base side. First pitch is outside 1-0. A little bit cloudier and cooler than it was yesterday.
She brought her camera with her today. I saw her getting some pictures when the players were being. There's her camera up again.
She's the principal at Pensacola Catholic. 1-0 the count. And the runner faked. Bounty then back to first pitch way outside. It's 2-0, and Stefanacci is kind of troubling, falling behind most of the hitters early in this game. First and third, 1 out. There you see Sister Martin. Quickly. And that's outside, and 2-1. I thought it was 3-0, but I believe the count is 3-0. Scoreboard says 2-1, so we will see here. Swung and foul back to the backstop. It is 2-2. 2-2. Henry, a left-handed hitter. Trying to get Pensacola Catholic on the board here in the bottom of the first and third, and 1 out. There goes the runner. Hit to first, and they're going to come home, but too late, and he's safe. Burkett slides underneath the tag of the catcher, Romano, and that was Evan Doherty's deal there. He got the ball at first, thought about going to first. He waited about 2 or 3 seconds, then decided to come home, and by that time, it was too late. So the run scores to make it 2-1. A little bit of
indecision there by the first baseman. Wasn't sure whether to take the out at first base or throw home.
And normal play, he would have had Burkett at the plate. So 1 out, still first and second to run in for Pensacola Catholic. They trail it 2-1. There's Avery Geyer, the DH. The winning pitcher yesterday, complete game against Bishop Moore. At the plate, 2 for 3, 2 singles and an RBI. In for a strike, 0-1.
And I'm sorry, Marty, but I do not have Chad Westlake, number 44, in my roster. What season is he? Is he a sophomore or freshman?
Chad Westlake, a senior.
Senior, okay.
Hit into left field, base hit. LeBounty is going to hold at third, as his dad will hold him up. Going to throw us up the line by the left fielder, Vogelbach. But why why come home when you got the bases loaded and 1 out? You don't want to make the second out of the inning at home. So Geyer with another hit. Here comes the pitching coach now for Bishop Verot as the Crusaders, with the bases loaded, 1 out, trailing at 2-1. That is the third hit of the inning for Pensacola Catholic.
Wow. Pensacola matching Verot's 2-run inning with a couple blows to the body and looking for a knockout punch right here with the bases loaded.
Quick meeting. The infield also meeting for the Vikings. That was not an error charge to Doherty. It'll go as a fielder's choice. And Henry gets an RBI. So LeBounty to third. Henry's at second. Geyer at first. Here's the catcher, Tanner Halstead, with the bases loaded, nobody out. Halstead yesterday 0 for 2, struck out twice in the game and walked. Chance to get a run in, infield in at first and third, as the pitch is on the outside corner with a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Both teams down with 3 hits already in the top of the first. Both teams almost matching their offensive outputs of yesterday, at least run-wise, here in the first inning. Bishop Verot scored 1 yesterday. They've got 2 today. Pensacola Catholic had 3 yesterday, and already a run today.
Marty, in big moments, big players make big plays. Bishop Verot needs a big play right here.
0-1 and breaks outside, and it's 1-1. We mentioned Bishop Verot opened their season with a 6-5 loss to Ida Baker. Won 20 in a row for losing 5-3 to Fort Myers, and has now since won 10 more games in a row. 29-2, and they've won 29 of their last 30 games. Pitch outside, 2-1. Yesterday, Mark, you asked me where Ida S. Baker is. I'm going to look that up for you.
Well, on the other hand, Pensacola Catholic lost in the district tournament championship game, was allowed to move on as the runner-up. Got revenge on Mariana in the regional tournament, putting a whooping on them, 14-4.
Yeah, they lost 3-2 in the district final. Coach LeBounty said they just caught us napping a bit, and then their best game of the year, he said, the regional semifinal, going on the road and winning by 10, and then the regional final, the 3-1 is strike on the outside corner, late call at 3-2. In the regional final, they went to Jacksonville to take on Episcopal. They were down to their last out for the second year in a row. Last strike against Episcopal, tied the game, won it in the 10th, 5-4. So they've been on the edge a few times, have the Crusaders.
Well, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and you can see they were not stunned by the 2-run deficit coming into this inning.
And there's ball 4. We're tied. Halstead walks in a run. As LeBounty scores, the bases are still loaded with only 1 out, and Stefanacci's in big trouble. Hits 2-2. Here, Joe Klepak, the right fielder, will hit. Bases loaded, 1 out, and we're going to have a runner down at first base for the catcher. That will be number 4, Jonathan Richmond, who ran yesterday.
Well, I was in error earlier, Marty. I was thinking that Westlake was out there at first base. Obviously, that was Evan Doherty with Verot that had that hesitation that's led to this inning getting extended.
Yeah, he's the first baseman for Bishop Verot. There's a drive into right field. It's going to get in for a hit. It's going to score at least 1, as Henry will score. He had to wait to see if the ball was actually going to be caught first, so they'll only get 1 in. But it's 3-2 an RBI for Klepak. The bases are still loaded with only 1 out.
Well, it's turned into a parade. It looks like a hit parade right now.
Who knew, right after the pitching performances we saw yesterday from both teams. That's 4 hits in the inning now for Pensacola Catholic. Ida S. Baker High School. I found it for you.
Well, now here is
Cape
Chad
Coral.
Westlake, number
Cape
44,
Coral.
in Cape Coral.
Cape Coral, Lee County.
That's just a suburb of Fort Myers.
Yes, right outside Fort Myers. Here we go with Westlake. I actually wanted to know that too. 1 out, bases loaded, 3 in. Breaking pitch of Westlake hit into left field. That's going to be trouble. It's going to get over the head of the left fielder all the way to the wall. 2 runs are going to score, and they're going to clear the bases as in comes Klepak. It's a 3-run double for Chad Westlake, a 6-run inning for the Crusaders of Pensacola Catholic, who lead at 6-2.
Well, up to that drive, there was no movement or anybody warming up in the bullpen for Verot.
There will be now.
I do not. Yes, we do have movement now.
You got to do something. You're down 6-2.
Well, that's number 2, DJ Judge.
What an inning! As the last 5 hitters have reached. The only out of the inning was a fielder's choice. 5 hits in the inning and 6 runs. And Chad Westlake capping it off with a 3-run double. The 9th batter of the inning now, James McGee. Boy, on the first pitch, he hit that ball over the head of Vogelbach and left all the way to the wall. Westlake at second, 1 out. A 3-run double makes it 6-2. And the first pitch is popped up. McGee pops the bunt up, and the catcher Romano makes the play.
Well, that little bit of a buzzkill right there with the pop-up still doesn't diminish the 6-run inning that's going on, and they're still just 2 outs.
I think McGee, again, bunting for a hit as he did. He did bunt for a hit yesterday, later scored a run.
The timing would have been perfect if he'd have gotten it down. He just happened to pop it up.
So John Burkett, the 10th batter of the inning. He singled, scored earlier in the inning. As Pensacola Catholic is batted around here in the bottom of the first. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. As you mentioned, that is DJ Judge now in the Bishop Verot bullpen, the right-hander.
The inning took a wrong turn, definitely, when sophomore Evan Doherty hesitated on a routine ground ball right back at him. Instead of throwing home as the runner was breaking, he second-guessed, thought about going to first base for this force out. Then, after thinking about it, took a moment, threw home, and it was just a moment too late.
Count 2-0. That would have given Bishop Verot 2 outs. Who knows from there where we go. At that point, it was 2-0 as the pitch up high, 3-0.
Well, 5 legitimate hits in the inning, so
yeah, it could have gone either way.
Pensacola Catholic bringing the lumber to the yard today. Swinging it.
3-0 the count. Westlake at second with 2 outs. And ball 4. The second walk of the inning for Stefanacci. Burkett reaches for the second time, and I think that might do it for Dominic Stefanacci. We'll see if this is a pitching change as Coach Nelson comes out. And for Stefanacci, who came in with an ERA of 1.62 and 9-0, boy, it'd be rough to not get out of the first inning of a state championship game. He's a sophomore. He'll be back for Bishop Verot. And they are going to make a change.
Making the change, bringing the left-hander in from center field.
So that'll be Brock Graber, who has appeared in 9 games this year, has 5 saves. Going to come in a kind of a long relief stint here.
So DJ Judge will now take over in left field.
So Stefanacci, last 2/3 of an inning, has allowed 5 hits. So far 6 runs. The runners on first and second will belong to him.
Judge will likely be a defensive player only, being designated hit for by Pasatino. Dominic Stefanacci will take a step into the dugout.
2 walks, no strikeouts, and 5 hits allowed. So far 6 runs for Stefanacci, and now we'll see Brock Graber. Brock Graber, another right-hander, 5-0. This will be his 10th appearance. He has 5 saves. 34 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 36 hits and 9 earned runs. 8 walks, 23 strikeouts, a 1.82 ERA. And he will enter with first and second, 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Chase Kiefer, the third baseman, due up, will be the 11th batter of the inning for the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders, who lead at 6-2. Well, I think we just said when the game started the offense has been down. Well, maybe I spoke too soon because we've got it in this game. 8 runs and 8 hits combined in the first inning for these two teams. We look at the semifinal games between these two. 3-2, Pensacola Catholic beat Bishop Moore. 1-0, Bishop Verot beat Monsignor Pace. In 3A, Providence won their semifinal 4-0. American Heritage won theirs 5-4. The championship game was 2-0 Providence. The 2A championship game the other night, Trinity Christian of Deltona won that 1-0. They won in the semifinals 3-1. Westwood Christian won their semifinal 4-1. So there haven't been a lot of runs this week. Plantation American Heritage had 2 shutouts in a row to win in 5A. Pensacola Catholic coming with the mats so far, though, in this game. And that'll bring up Chase Kiefer. He'll be the first batter to face Graber.
Well, you saw quite a contrast in size when you see big Frankie Gramano, the catcher, 6'4", go out there and talk to Brock Graber. Just 5'8", the senior. Got a big heart. Going after that corner.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, it's on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Graber, a senior. 0-1 to Kiefer is outside. 1-1. Chase Kiefer has signed with the University of West Florida in Pensacola. Oh, their mascot escapes me right now. I used to know this. 1-1. Hit in the air to right field and barely having to move out there, making the play.
The Pelicans?
No, I don't think so. Garcia makes the catch.
Pensacola Pelicans, that's a minor league team over there.
Yeah. The inning ends with 11 batters coming to the plate for Pensacola Catholic. 6 runs on 5 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. All 6 runs are earned. We go to the second, 6-2, Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot in our 4A state championship game here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute. We go to the top of the second, 6-2. Bishop Verot with 2 in the top of the first. Pensacola Catholic with 6 runs in the bottom of the first. And we'll have 7, 8, and 9 for the Vikings as they need to make a comeback now against Cooper Jones. Frankie Romano, the catcher, swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Romano last night in the semifinal game, 2 for 3, 2 singles. Chase Keeper will be playing. That's in for a strike, 0-2 for the University of West Florida Argonauts. That was the name I was looking for. Not a very common name for universities. 0-2, that's hit back, foul off to our left. Only team I can think of is the Canadian Football League team, Toronto Argonauts. 0-2 the count. 5 hits for Pensacola Catholic, 3 for Bishop Verot in the first. 6 runs for the Crusaders, 2 for the Vikings. Just misses outside, 1-2. Cooper Jones now staked to a 4-run lead in this 4A state championship game. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout for Cooper Jones as he blows it by Romano with a fastball. And that's 1 out in the top of the second.
Well, Cooper Jones may come off in first impression as a cocksure young man wearing his Superman socks, but I'm sure that first inning, pitching in the big situation, a little bit of nerves were thrown through him. Jitters may be gone now with a 4-run lead.
And for a strike to Brock Graber, it's 0-1. Graber now, the pitcher, started the game at center field. 0-1, Jones working quickly, hitting the hole, and a nice play by the Bounty. Going to have a tough play. He's not going to be able to make it as the throw was in the dirt. Another infield hit for Bishop Verot as Graber once again hits one right into that hole at shortstop. The Bounty knocks it down, but no play at first, and it's a infield hit for Graber, 4th hit of the game for Bishop Verot.
Well, the Bounty, all grit and hustle, has no problem diving, getting dirty. His father, when asked, Coach LeBounty, I asked him, who would you liken him to? And I said, would you liken him to like a David Eckstein? He says, absolutely. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. It's a World Series MVP.
2-time World Series participant and winner.
World Series MVP in 2006 when the Cardinals won the first championship. 1-0 is low. And 2-0 the count as Halstead will try to settle down Jones.
Also World Series winner with the Angels.
That's right, 2 times. He started his career with the Angels. All-American at University of Florida. 2-0. Down the middle for a strike, 2-1. One out, runner at first. Top of the second. A lot of runs early in this one. Popped up on the infield. It is a lot of wind, and the catch will be made over there by the second baseman. That is Burkett, and it's 2 outs.
Marty, it's incredible. We've had 9 hits between the 2 combined teams so far. I think it took us 3 games to get to 9 hits for some of these other games.
That was Bobby Brennan, the shortstop, popping up. So 2 outs. Here's the top of the order. Josh Garcia singled in the first inning. And he'll pop it up out of play. It's 0-1. Garcia scored one of the 2 first inning runs for Bishop Verot. One is a little high and outside. It's even at 1-1. Jones looks in, looks to first, and now the 1-1 is popped up down the left side. Coming over is Henry in the bullpen, and he will make the catch near the bullpen mound. Garcia pops up to the left fielder Henry in foul territory. That will end the top of the second for the Vikings. They get a 1-out single, but nothing else. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a runner left on. We go to the bottom of the second. 6-2, Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot in our 4A championship game here on the FHSAA network. We'll be back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Sports Authority, all things sporting good. And a special thanks to the Treasure Coast Sports Commission, St. Lucie County, Guppy Sports Go, and Kaiser University for sponsoring the FHSAA Baseball Championship.
a red light call on the camera when you're hot.
Welcome back to Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. The 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals are for a state championship game, the final game of the tournament. Marty Palm and Mark Schambach back as it's 6-2 Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot. And during the break, Mark and I were talking about Richard LeBounty, who we've been staying in our hotel along with the team and had a chance to talk to him. 29 years, 619, now 20 wins after yesterday. And state champs in 2003, his 10th appearance in the Final Four, trying to win that second state title, and he's been close before and really thought he had a team this year coming in that could win it after just coming up short last year in the bottom of the 7th against Bishop Verot. There is Drew LeBounty, the junior, to lead off, and it's in for a strike 0-1. Richard LeBounty is a Pensacola guy. He went to Washington High School, University of West Florida. 52 years old and has spent most of his life and career in Pensacola and 29 years at Pensacola Catholic. There's a good breaking pitch by Graber. It's 0-2, but Final Four in 93, in 96, in 99, 2002, state champs in 2003, runner-up in 04, Final Four in 08, and a runner-up last year as it's popped up into center field by Drew LeBounty, and the catch is made out there by the center fielder, as that is now DJ Judge in center making the catch, 1 out. So you know that it would be special for Coach LeBounty with his son on the team, and also he had an older son with him in 2003.
Marty, I believe Judge is in the left.
I'm sorry.
They moved Vogelbach into center.
Vogelbach's in center, okay. Here's Cody Henry, who drove in a run with that fielder's choice last inning. The Evan Doherty at first base couldn't decide what to do with it.
I knew I'd made a mistake when you said Westlake was a senior, because it did not look like a senior type mistake. It looked like a younger, less experienced ball player mistake on that ground ball. And sure enough, Evan Doherty is a sophomore.
And that's high. It's now 3-0.
Jumping to the wrong defensive chart.
Oh, I missed the Final Four for Richard LeBounty, 2005. So this is his 10th appearance in the Final Four. And the 3-0 low for ball 4. So Henry walks on 4 pitches. He's reached base twice.
You know, it's interesting. When did he make his first Final Four?
That would be 1993.
Okay, so he's been coaching a while prior to going to a Final Four. And reminds me, I was thinking he has kind of that old school John Wooden mantra, or you know, kind of, it's about how we play, not whether we win. If we do things right and we play well, the rest will take care of itself and the wins will come. So he doesn't seem to be too phased one way or the other. Very good approach. You can see he's raised some fine young men here.
0-1. Geyer is hit on the left field line and just going to hook foul into the bullpen. It's 0-2.
That was quite the hook. That ball started, I think, to the left of the third baseman when it left the infield, but really took a left-hand turn.
Avery Geyer singled and scored in the first, the DH, and you can't see a better example of that than yesterday. Richard LeBounty leaving Avery Geyer in, his ace, his junior. Even though it got a 3-2 game, the 7th, Bishop Moore had 2 on. He was confident as Geyer almost hits his coach down in the third base box and remains 0-2. But after the game, he said, you know what, he's done it before. I believe in him. And he got it done in a 1-run game. So that's something you do learn, too. You learn what your kids can do when you've been there almost 30 years. He's also the athletic director of Pensacola Catholic. 0-2. The runner at first is Henry, and that misses outside. 1-2.
Well, while Geyer's at the plate. You know, you mentioned that comment, and what he said was he had gotten him to that point, and he's a winner, and he believes in winners and losers, and it was his game to win. What he meant was if he'd let the game get tied, he was going to take him out.
Popped up, and this will be a play for Romano back near the screen. They'll make the catch. And may have a double play. The throw to first. Ooh,
good hustle
got Henry
to get back in.
Yeah, Henry was almost halfway to second. Geyer pops up to the catcher, 2 outs. And Henry back to first barely under the tag. But, yeah, he believes in winners and losers, and the guy has won 620 games. He wins a lot. 211 losses. That is a lot more wins than losses. 2 outs. Tanner Halstead walked with the bases loaded and walked in a run in the 6th run first. He pops this one up as well. That's going to make it into the seats. Looking at some of the records through the years. 25-6, 22-8, 22-6, 24-8, 3 times 29-5, 26-5, 22-8, 28-3. This year 26-3.
What was his record his first year?
0-1 up high, 1-1, 14-11.
See, he took over a program, and it took time, but he's built a dynasty.
How about this? Only 1 losing season in his 4th year, 1987, 11-12. That was it. 1 game under 500. And you're right. It took until his 7th year to win a district. His 10th year as a coach to make the Final Four.
A lot of people don't understand and realize that John Wooden, even though they won some 80-something games in a row at one point, and he has the most national champions, he spent a number of years, maybe 10 years at UCLA before he turned him into a powerhouse.
1-1 just misses outside, 2-1. I think he had been a coach, yeah, about maybe almost 15 years before he won his first, and then it just exploded. A lot of coaches, if you look through the years, started off slowly. The 2-1 is...
in today's world of pro and collegiate athletics, if you're not winning within the 3rd year, you're showing the door.
Which I think is a really excessive. 4 or 5 years to me is fair. About maybe even longer, about 5 years. So 3-1 popped into right field. And coming up and making the catch on the run out there is Josh Garcia. And Brock Graber throws a scoreless 2nd inning to keep his team within 6-2. No runs, no hits, a walk, no errors, a runner left on base. We now go to the 3rd in our 4A championship game. Pensacola Catholic 6, Bishop Verot 2 here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie here in 60 seconds.
C2Cschools.com, the official sports management system of the FHSAA. For all of your school and sports information. C2C provides parents, students, and fans with schedules, scores, rosters, pictures, driving directions, and much more. Visit your school on C2Cschools.com today.
Welcome back to Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie as we head to the top of the 3rd. 6-2, Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot here in this 4A state championship game. Marty Paulman here along with Mark Schambach. By the way, the South County Stadium here in St. Lucie West, right across the street, they'll have a spring football game there tonight. Of course, weather permitting. Spring football wrapping up around the state this week, as is obviously baseball today. A lot of games in this Treasure Coast area tonight. Treasure Coast High School is playing. That's their home field along with Centennial High School in St. Lucie West. 2, 3, and 4 for Bishop Verot as Paul Breton pops the first pitch up. That'll make it into the seats. It's 0-1. Breton struck out in the first inning. 0 for 1. Cooper Jones through 2 innings has allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. 2 strikeouts, no walks.
Marty, are you broadcasting football this weekend?
Yeah, tomorrow night actually. 0-1 up high, 1-1. Back to Gainesville tomorrow, the Gainesville High School in North Marion. from Citizens Field in Gainesville. Some spring football, and then done for a while. Spring football wraps up Saturday. Only game that I have scheduled to work. There's a strike in the outside corner, 1-2. It's always weird to do baseball for about 3-4 months like we have, and then all of a sudden turn around and do another football game. Then don't do another football game for about 3 months. 1-2 outside, 2-2.
Well, the shift has come back. We are looking at a little bit more of our patented shift where the right center fielder, I'll call him, is playing.
2-2, and that's hit into right field, and Klepak doesn't even have to move. He had that played perfectly close to that line, and the center fielder, McGee, was over in right center again, so the shift is back, and Breton lines out sharply to right field, 1 out. Here is Nick Rivera, who singled, was forced out in the first inning. Hits are 5-4 in favor of Pensacola Catholic. 6-2 our score. Both teams scoring their runs in the first inning. Verot with 2 in the top of the first. Pensacola Catholic 6 in the bottom. Rivera, first pitch, takes a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. That's hit down the right side. It'll make it into the seats out of play. Boy, Klepak comes. He's right on the right field seats where he's playing. Boy, if there's a ball in that bullpen, he'll get to it pretty easily where he's lined up. Ball makes the seat, so it's 0-2. And Rivera pops up the 0-2 on the infield. It's going to be called by the third baseman. And the catch is made by Chase Kiefer for out number 2. So Cooper now settling down. Cooper Jones, that is. As he has now retired. 6 of the last 7 hitters after giving up 2 runs in the first. 2 outs. Chase Vogelbach, the left fielder, reached on a fielder's choice, scored in a run in the first inning. And the first pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Cooper Jones, a junior. That's the thing. Coach LeBounty gets both Geyer and Jones back next year, his top 2 pitchers. Last year's state championship team, we asked him about this, or not state championship team, state runner-up, lost to Bishop Verot in the bottom of the 7th. Lost 1 senior. Grounded to second, and that's an easy play over there for John Burkett. He throws it on to Westlake at first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Cooper Jones, who's retired 5 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Our score remains 6-2. Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot in our 4A state championship game. We'll come back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute here on the FHSAA Network.
The official merchandising company of the FHSAA. Gatorade Thirst Quencher, is it in you? Pinch a Penny Pools, patios and spas, the perfect people for a perfect pool. Sports Authority, your baseball authority. Balfour, makers of official FHSAA championship ring. Glossy Finish, the official photographer of the FHSAA. Filter, the ultimate service experience. Florida Virtual School, online education, anytime, any place, any path, any pace. Sun Sports at FSM Florida, the exclusive television homes for the FHSAA Finals. Right Out Sports Network, the official cable partner of the FHSAA. And Batten, who supply the official baseball for the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Final.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 3rd, 6-2. Pensacola Catholic is leading Bishop Verot in our 4A state championship game. 7, 8, 9 for the Crusaders in the bottom of the 3rd. Joe Klepak, the right fielder, will lead off. RBI single and scored in the 6th-run first with the Crusaders. Bottom of the order really was the key in the first inning. Halstead walked with the bases loaded, walked in a run. Joe Klepak singled in a run, scored later. And then Chad Westlake with a big hit, the 3-run double to the left field wall. And that's 6-run first. Swing and a miss by Klepak. And it's 0-1 as Brock Graber has settled down this Bishop Verot team a bit. Entered in the first inning with 2 outs. Boy, that time he looked like he threw it about 60 miles an hour.
Throwing those soft breaking balls, keeping them off balance.
Klepak missed it. It's 0-2. And
pop-ups last inning on the slow pitches.
Threw it again outside. This one in the dirt. It's 1-2. Still cloudy. Haven't seen the sun in a while. 86 degrees. A lot of rain in the Atlantic and down south of us, and hopefully it'll stay away for another hour or so. It looks like it's going to eventually be here. The misses outside 2-2, just trying to get our final game in, and our play-on crew can go home. 2-2. And a swing and a miss again at a slow breaking pitch, and Klepak a strikeout victim. First strikeout for Brock Graber, 1 out. So here is Chad Westlake, 3-run double in the first, all the way to the left field wall. And that was the capper to the 6-run inning in the bottom of the first. Now 3 o'clock here in Port St. Lucie. Pitch is low and outside, 1-0.
Well, the green machine, the Crusaders, Pensacola Catholic, got off to a great start. Put a 6 spot on the board. Graber's kind of keeping him off balance.
1-0 in for a strike, 1-1.
When he does throw the fastball, they don't believe it's coming, and it kind of surprises them.
1 out, nobody on. And a 1-1 on the way. Breaking pitch popped up on the infield, called off by Doherty, the first baseman. Graber almost came over and got in front of him. That's 2 outs, and you're right, that changeup really is keeping the hitters off balance for Pensacola Catholic. 2 outs as Westlake pops up to first. James McGee, the center fielder, is 0 for 1. He popped up a bunt to the catcher Romano in the first inning. Infield in at first and third, expecting another bunt, or in at third at least. Instead, McGee hits it to Doherty in the hole. Nice play. A flip to Graber, who covers first in time. And McGee grounds out 3-1 on the first pitch. So 1-2-3. As now Graber has retired 5 in a row, and we've settled down into a little more of a pitcher's duel after a rough first inning for both teams. It's 6-2. Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot as we head to the 4th inning in this 4A state championship game on the FHSAA network. We'll be back in Port St. Lucie in 1 minute.
Opportunities are available for both students and adults to get back to the sports you love by refereeing or umpiring contests in a variety of sports, including baseball. Visit becomeanofficial.org for now you can register as a contest official with the Florida High School Athletic Association.
All right, top of the 4th, pardon me. It's 6-2, Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot. Marty Palm and Mark Schanbach back with you here in Port St. Lucie. As Cooper Jones continues on the mound for the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders. All the runs of this game back in the first inning. Verot got 2 in the top of the first, a 2-run single by Jeff Passantino, who'll lead off the top of the 4th. And then 6 in the bottom of the first for Pensacola Catholic, capped off by a 3-run double by Chad Westlake. Cooper Jones has now retired the last 5 in a row, and also 7 of the last 8 hitters he's faced. Passantino, the 2-run single to right center back in the first, the only runs of the game for Bishop Verot, and timeout called.
Well, Marty, what I think happened to Cooper Jones in that first inning is he was feeling the adrenaline, probably overthrowing a little bit, missing his spots. He's probably better known and more as hitting the outside corners and working his breaking ball in there to keep hitters off balance.
Low and outside from Jones, 1-0. Jones, a 6'3" junior.
With his size, he'll bring a lot of attention from the college scouts.
Outside corner for actually right down the middle for a strike, 1-1. One on the way is popped up on the infield. Westlake calls for it right on the foul line behind first base, makes the catch as Pasantino pops up for the first out in the top of the fourth. That'll bring up Evan Doherty, 0 for 1 with a fly to right, the first baseman. First pitch hit up the middle, just gets past Burkett into center field for a base hit. Doherty's 1 for 2 and a 1-out single in the top of the fourth, 5th hit of the game for the Bishop Verot Vikings. So now Frankie Romano, the catcher, struck out in the first inning.
Yeah, big out right here. Romano up on the plate, taking away the outside corner.
Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Nice pitch challenging him right there. The shift in full effect.
And swing and foul back to the backstop, and now it's 0-2. Jones gets ahead of Romano again.
Get another look at the shift. We got the right fielder near the foul line, right center fielder playing right in the gap.
0-2 up high, 1-2.
This defense worked like a charm last night for the Crusaders. Pensacola Catholic committed to it. They feel like when they can pitch fastball and hit their spots on the outside part of the plate, that's where the defense should be, because that's where the hitters are going to be hitting the ball.
So it's 2-2 as that pitch just misses outside. And hit into right field, sinking, and Klepak now will have to move in near the line and make the catch.
And another example of how the shift pays off.
Klepak playing near that line again makes the catch, 2 outs as Romano flies out to right. So here's Brock Graber, the pitcher, singled in the second inning, was left stranded. Runner still at first with 2 outs. Hits are even at 5 apiece. Pensacola Catholic continuing to lead at 6-2. There goes the runner. Pitch is inside for a ball. The throw to second. Oh, he came off the bag. Doherty was safe. He got around the tag of Burkett, and then he slid over second base, and he's upset with the umpire. I thought it was pretty obvious, and David Nelson also going to argue this call. The throw down by Halstead was a good throw, not in time. Nelson's very upset. Doherty was too, but it's going to be a caught stealing in the end. 2-6, 2-4 to end the inning.
Sometimes the breaks go your way, sometimes they don't.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 6-2, as you see Coach Nelson getting in a few words to the umpire. 6-2, it's Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot. We head to the bottom of the fourth here in Port St. Lucie, back in 1 minute. So we hit the bottom of the fourth as Bishop Verot's inning ends with Doherty being called out at second, trying to steal. As umpire claims he slid past second base. So the score remains 6-2. Top of the order for the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be John Burkett to lead off. He has singled, scored in the first, and walked. He was up twice in the first as Pensacola Catholic had 11 batters come to the plate, scoring 6 runs. Burkett 1 for 1 with a run scored. The first pitch from Graber. He tries to bunt. Graber, nice play off the mound quickly, and the throw to first is in time. Boy, he covered that bunt right off the mound. He throws to Doherty at first to get Burkett 1-3, 1 out.
Well, you remember in the big inning, starting pitcher Stefanacci was very slow to come off the mound and did not get the runner out, and that led to the big inning. Graber, much more athletic move there, made it look easy.
So 1 out. Here's Kiefer, who singled, was forced out in the first, and it's flown to right. He's 1 for 2. Breaking pitch inside, 1-1, 1-0. One-0 pitch is hit into center field. The changeup will be dropped in front of the center fielder Vogelbach for a base hit. Kiefer's 2 for 3. Hit number 6 for Pensacola Catholic. That's their first hit since the first inning. Then Kiefer's at first with 1 out. Drew LaBounty has reached on a fielder's choice, flown to center. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored.
Kiefer, one of just 5 seniors on this team, it looks like, Marty.
Yeah, again, Richard LaBounty is going to have a bunch of guys coming back next year. Tanner Halstead is a junior. Pitch outside and a fake throw to first. Drew LaBounty will be back. John Burkett. Avery Geyer. Cooper Jones. Cody Henry's a sophomore. The rest of those guys I just mentioned were juniors. James McGee's a sophomore. Loses Westlake Klepak as the runner heads to second, and it hits the shortstop, and there's no play at second. The runner's safe. It hit the shortstop, bounced up, and hit Brennan in the face. It bounced to second, but not in time as Kiefer was already at second base.
Well, good thing Kiefer was on the move because that ball took a fortunate hop. It bounced right to the second baseman standing on top of the bag. The runner made it there before the ball did, so everyone's safe.
So that's an E6. First error of the game goes on the shortstop. Brennan's a tough hop. But first and second, 1 out. And you're right, boy, Kiefer was on the run, and he was standing at second when the ball rolled over to the second baseman, Paul Breton. So here's Henry. Henry drove in a run with a fielder's choice in the first, scored a run, he walked in the second. He's 0 for 1, takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Now Pensacola Catholic with another opportunity here in the bottom of the fourth. First and second, 1 out. This is low, 2-0. Those are the only guys, though, that Coach LaBounty will lose. Chase Kiefer, Tyler Henry, one of his pitchers, Joe Klepak, and Chad Westlake. 2-0 as hit right at second. Could be a double play, and they will get the double play at second as the catch was made on the soft line drive by Breton. He flips it to Brennan at short, and the double play goes 4-6, and that gets Bishop Verot out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and in the end there's 1 runner left on base. We go now to the 5th inning, 6-2, Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot here on the FHSAA Network. Back for our 4A state championship game in 1 minute from Port St. Lucie.
Conclusion of today's championship game. We encourage you to stick around and join us as we recognize the players and coaches for both teams.
All right, to the 5th we go. It's 6-2. Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot. And this game has settled down after a rough first inning. Bishop Verot scored 2 in the top of the first against Cooper Jones. And then Pensacola Catholic 6 in the bottom of the first against Dominic Stefanacci for Bishop Verot. Didn't make it out of the first inning. And since then, Brock Graber has thrown 3 scoreless innings for Bishop Verot. And Cooper Jones has not allowed a run since as well. Only allowed a couple hits as the first pitch hit into left field. Henry coming over near the wall. That'll make it into the seats. down the left field side. It's 0-1. Graber, the pitcher, singled in the second. He was at bat last inning when Doherty was caught stealing, trying to get to second base. Graber started the game in center field. Oh, 0-1 the count. Pitch from Jones. Swing and a miss there. Good fastball. Gets it by Graber. It's 0-2. And the 0-2 is hit up the middle to second. Burkett has it. Quick throw across. Ooh, almost took Westlake off the mag, but a good play there. 4-3 put out, 1 out.
Well, Marty, I don't know what my fascination is, but I have been looking to find out where Sister Martin went. She's not in her front row seat at the moment.
She's got that fan down there still, though. It's sitting there.
Her camera's there, and she must be viewing the ballpark somewhere.
1 out. I hit up the middle. LeBounty makes the play. Throw across, needs to hurry, and it's safe. LeBounty, for some reason, paused.
Double clutch. I think he didn't have a good grip on the ball the first effort.
As Bobby Brennan gets an infield hit, he's 1 for 2. Hit number 6 for Bishop Verot, just beating the throw across from LeBounty. LeBounty made a nice play up the middle, had plenty of time, but you're right, double clutch. So 1 out, runner at first, top of the order, Josh Garcia. Singled and scored in the first, flown to left in the second. He's 1 for 2.
Well, Vogelbach up now, looking to get something going. They're not playing the extreme shift on the left-handed batter, but they are shifted over to the left side of center field, third base side of center field.
Ball 1 to Garcia. It's 1-0. Now you got the left fielder Henry for Pensacola Catholic over near the line. Line drive, right field, base hit. Westlake was covering first. The ball gets behind Klepak, but stopping at second is Brennan. Back-to-back hits.
Well, the ball hit so
Verot.
sharply on the line, the base runner froze to make sure it got through, but by the time he got restarted, ball was out there in the right fielder's hands. Didn't know he was going to bobble it, so he's held up at second.
Back-to-back hits for the Vikings. 7 hits in the game now. Garcia's 2 for 3. First and second with 1 out. Now it's Paul Breton, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly to right.
And now Sister Martin has returned to her seat.
Probably because the 2 hits happened in a row.
Yeah, didn't want to change the momentum there.
Well, Breton, the number 2 hitter in the lineup. Nick Rivera on deck. Vogelbach is due up after Rivera. That's pop foul off to the right out of play, and it'll hit over the camera area. 0-1. Or the Bright House camera and our camera for the FHSAA network down that first base side. 0-1 the count. Jones looks to second. The pitch is in the dirt. Halstead will throw to first. Ooh, they almost had the runner leaning. Garcia, a little bit, got tagged to the back. Looked like he's a little shaken up as Westlake put the tag on him. Timeout will be called.
Westlake's a big boy. I think he landed with his knee and his kidney on the backside.
So Garcia will walk it off over at first base. Count is 1-1. 1 out now. Some action in the Pensacola Catholic bullpen. It is Tyler Henry.
Westlake goes 6 foot, but he's got a starting guard physique, so that's a heavy load coming down on top of Vogelbach.
1-1 the count. Jones looks to second, and the pitch is hit to Westlake, and he's going to get a double play. Soft line drive right at Chad Westlake. Garcia was too far off the base, and it's a double play to end the top of the 5th, just like Bishop Verot got a double play to end the bottom of the 4th against Pensacola Catholic. 3 unassisted on the double play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 6-2. Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot in this 4A championship game. Back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds.
He has been able to offer its knowledge and assistance to millions throughout the Southeast. Pinch a penny, the perfect people for the perfect pool.
To the bottom of the fifth we go. And Pensacola Catholic leading at 6-2 over Bishop Verot. Still all the runs coming back in the first inning for both teams. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Crusaders in the bottom of the fifth against Brock Graber. Avery Geyer, the DH today, will lead off 1 for 2. Singled, scored in the first. And he popped out to the catcher his second time up. And we are waiting for Bright House, of course. That's going to make the home plate umpire happy. That is one of the worst jobs. I've done that job before, that timeout coordinator they call it. And they're supposed to wait on you, but you can really tick off some officials and umpires because they want to play. Chopped to third. Rivera's throw across in time as Doherty stays on the bag, and Geyer grounds out 5-3, 1 out. Home plate umpire was ready to go. The TV was not ready to go. And he looked down there as if to say, "What are you doing?" 1 out.
He's still looking down there.
Tanner Halstead walked in a run with the bases loaded in the first, pops it up, and Doherty almost ran into his second baseman over there. Made the play right in front of Breton. That's 2 outs as Halstead pops up on the first pitch. So Halstead's 0 for 2 with 2 pop-ups and a walk with the bases loaded, drove in a run. Joe Klepak 1 for 2, singled in a run, scored in the 6-run first, struck out swinging in the third as again Brock Graber has pitched excellently in relief. Is coming in the first inning with 2 outs. That's another 57-footer in the dirt. 1-0.
Marty, I feel like we're in the twilight zone here. The way the first inning went, it was a game unto itself. The rest of the game has been a pitcher's duel.
The sun back out here now for the first time in a while. That's down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Still says 86 degrees out in left center.
5'8", Brock Graber pitching like a giant right now.
A 1-1 on the way to Klepak. And that's ball 2 inside, 2-1. Two and 1 the count, and the pitch on the way from Graber. It's another slow one, a little bit high, 3-1. That's got to be coming at about 60, 65 miles an hour, maybe up to 70.
It's certainly been effective keeping the Crusaders off balance.
So it's 3-1, and the pitch on the way popped up on the infield. Boy, I thought he might be taken there. Klepak pops it up, and this time Breton, the second baseman, will call off his infielders. He'll make the play. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Brock Graber and Bishop Verot in the bottom of the fifth. We go to the sixth. The Vikings still trail it by 4, 6-2 in our 4A state championship game here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 60 seconds.
The 2012 FHSAA Baseball Final. Visit Glossy Finish Photography on the World Wide Web at fhsaa.glossyfinish.com. You can then order prints and posters of the players online. The why wait? Find a Glossy Finish brand ambassador on a red vest, and they can make sure your favorite player has their photo taken. Glossy Finish, official photographer of the FHSAA Final.
And Marty Pullman, Mark Schambach back here in Port St. Lucie. Top of the sixth, Bishop Verot running out of outs. They trail Pensacola Catholic 6-2 in our 4A state championship game here on the FHSAA network. And for the Vikings, it'll be Nick Rivera. The third baseman singled, was forced out in the first inning, popped to third in the second. He's 1 for 2. 3-4-5 coming up now in the top of the 6th for Bishop Verot. All the runs in this game coming in the first inning. We have really settled down since the first. Cooper Jones allowed 2 runs in the top of the first, has allowed 7 hits, but still on the mound with a 4-run lead.
I wonder if Bishop Verot has won a state championship in any other sport this year. Nice way to cap off the finish of the year with the baseball championship option right here.
Outside 2-0, and I know that they've won, I believe, football before. Basketball is always very good. They're popped up on the infield on a 2-0 pitch. Drew LeBounty makes the play at the shortstop for the first out. Rivera 1 for 3, and again, it's 2-0. Well, we're swinging away. 1 out, and Bishop Verot running out of outs as they try to repeat as state champions. Bishop Verot beat Pensacola Catholic last year 4-3 in the 3A state championship game with a run in the bottom of the 7th. So the Crusaders have had about 365 days to think about that one, and they're 5 outs away from getting their revenge and winning a 4A state title. 1-0 and timeout called. Chase Vogelbach reached on a fielder's choice, scored in the first, grounded to second. He's 0 for 2.
Well, what can you say about Cooper Jones? Had a rough first inning, gave up 2 runs, looked a little shaky, maybe was overthrowing, but his teammates settled things back down with 6 runs of their own in the bottom half. He's been scoreless since.
1-0 is popped up on the infield again, out to the outfield actually. LeBounty will call off. Burkett will make the catch over in short right center, 2 outs. So quickly, 2 outs. And now it's Jeff Passantino, the only RBIs of the game, the 2-run single in the first. He's 1 for 2. 2 outs, nobody on. Well, a lot of Pensacola Catholic folks are here. They've been staying at our hotel in Fort Pierce along with the team. A lot of great representation. That's a 10-hour ride we found out over here at Port St. Lucie. 1-0 the count. Bishop Verot folks still on their feet over the Bishop Verot dugout. Popped up again. And this is Westlake in foul territory making the catch. Jones gets 3 pop-ups in a row on the infield and works a quick 1-2-3, top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 6-2 Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot in our 4A state championship game here from Port St. Lucie. Back to Digital Domain Park in 1 minute.
But there are no differences between a field installed at a professional stadium and one installed at a high school. Field turf has proven time and time again to be the safest, highest performing, and most durable surface on the planet. Field turf, the ultimate surface experience.
All right, we go to the bottom of the 6th, 6-2. Pensacola Catholic leading Bishop Verot. And we'll have 8, 9, and 1 coming up for the Crusaders in the bottom of the 6th. Chad Westlake still the biggest hit in the game so far. The 3-run double in the first inning. 6-run first for the Crusaders, capped by that 3-run double. Verot scored their 2 in the first and no runs since then. Bishop Verot has actually out-hit Pensacola Catholic 7-6. As we now have 1 more inning to go to try and beat the you-know-what. If Pensacola Catholic would like a state championship, boy, that would be the second in Richard LeBounty's long career. The other one in 2003. And also some revenge on Bishop Verot for last year's 3A state title game. Brock Graber's done a great job on the mound. 5 1/3 innings in relief. Has allowed only 1 hit. First pitch, a ball to Westlake, 1-0. Has also walked 1, another runner reached on an error. That's another breaking pitch, misses high, 2-0.
Graver been successful throwing a pitch just like that, floating it up there.
For Bishop Verot on the top of the 7th, 6, 7, and 8. Doherty, Romano, and Graber due up. (2-0). That's a strike on the inside corner. 2-1. Richard LeBounty, the third base coach. 2-1. And on the outside corner, strike 2, 2-2. Nice breeze blowing through here now. Wind going in now towards right. 2-2. Uh-oh. That foul back though, make it in front of us. And it's still 2-2. It's a 10-hour ride back to Pensacola from Port St. Lucie. We said that last inning. Mark, you were...
Well, you know, I just thought it's a little premature to say if they win the championship, but they're sitting in a pretty good spot. If they were to win the championship, it's on the way. Why not go to Disney World on the way home?
Okay, yep, everything's on the way to Pensacola when you're 10 hours away.
It's a haul.
Ball 4 to Westlake. And he will have a leadoff walk in the bottom of the 6th. He's reached base twice today with nobody out. James McGee due to hit. We'll have a runner at first base, looks like, for the first baseman, Westlake. And that'll be Michael Neal, number 31. Well, you could take him to Disney World on your way back to Orlando.
I'd go the bypass. I live on the opposite
you live
side, northeast side.
You live up near Seminole.
I live further away from the Ratville.
The Ratville. Yeah, you always, the people that have lived in Orlando for a long time always like to avoid that area.
Well, it's a great area. There's a lot to do. It's just
it's
nothing
crowded.
that you want to do if you live there because you've done it all so many times.
Yeah. Here's James McGee, 0 for 2. Runner at first, nobody out. Here comes second baseman, and McGee does bunt. And Breton will make the play on to first. Doherty covering. Breton came running in the last minute. I think McGee has bunted every time he's hit these last 2 games. The sacrifice does go 4-3, and moving to second is Neal with 1 out. Well, a lot of 4-3 sacrifices.
Well, 1 run is a big run. Getting beyond that 4-run cushion is always a big thing in baseball.
John Burkett has singled, walked, grounded to the pitcher. He's 1 for 2. Singled, scored in the 6-run first inning. Graber looks the runner to second, and the pitch to Burkett is in for a strike. 0-1.
Too little too late, perhaps, for the relief duty. Young Graber been phenomenal since he's been called on.
0-1 inside with a breaking ball. 1-1. One out, the runner at second. And no runs since the first inning. Not a lot of low-scoring games this week. This one started off as one that was going to be a slugfest, and it settled down. 1-1 hit foul over to the camera well down the left field line. It's 1-2.
That'll delay the game while they get that ball off the field in left field.
I don't think DJ Judge realizes it out in left field. He's somebody running all the way out there to get it. The bird.
The bird, the bird,
oh yeah,
the bird, the bird.
There's the bird. Right there in the on-deck circle. He's been there most of the week. 1-2. There goes the runner. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Throw to third is not in time. A stolen base for Michael Neal, but now he's there with 2 outs as Burkett strikes out for the second out of the inning. So Kiefer will now have to get the runner home.
Obviously, the bird behind home plate has no idea the dimension and the enormity of this game and what's going on. Just chilling around, walking around the back of warning
track. I did a
track.
game in Gainesville this year where at PK Young School where there were ducks around, and one of them would just walk into the visiting dugout and go to the on-deck circle and just sit there. And the players just walk around it. Pitches a ball to Kiefer, 1-0. It's a big duck. Didn't seem to care there were baseball players around. Two outs, the runner
Whole
at
new
third.
meaning to the phrase "chuck and duck."
I need a rim shot sounder here.
When I pitch, that's what often happened. Number 2.
Oh, do we have a balk? We do. Graber said, "What did I do?" But the home plate umpire immediately saw it. So did Richard the Bounty, and there's your run with 2 outs. Neal scores to make it 7-2.
Well, it's a shame to see it happen to Graber, who's been nearly flawless till now. Apparently stepped off with the wrong foot or broke his hands too soon before he stepped off.
1-0, and it's chopped to short on the run. Nice play throw across. Boy, that's quite a throw over there. As Brennan threw the ball so hard he about fell down, but
Great
good speed
wheels
by Kiefer, and he beats it out. He's 3 for 4 to Kiefer today. So that's hit number 7 for Pensacola Catholic. Only 2 hits since the first inning when they had 5 and 6 runs. David Nelson now to the mound, and
That takes a little of the sting off of the balk, since that run would have scored anyway.
by the way, if this score holds, this will be the first time the FHSAA baseball finals we've not had one game with double-digit scoring. Not one this year. And we said in the last game, Providence, that was the 10th shutout of these finals. Previous record was 8 back in 1958. So it has been a pitcher-dominated finals. But then again, it's 410 to center, 338 down the lines. Big ballpark. The new bats don't have the sweet spot. The home runs are way down. But the pitching has been excellent. There's a lot of reasons why. As Drew LeBounty is up. LeBounty 0 for 3. Fielder's choice in the first, scored a run, flown to center, and reached on an error in the fourth. Outside 1-0.
It'd be interesting to see if Coach LeBounty puts hit and run on right here. He's got the right hitter at the plate. He's got the right runner on the bases.
The bird is now migrated.
Nope.
As there's a strike on the outside corner down to in front of the Bishop Verot dugout on the first base side. It's moving slowly but surely towards the bullpen and the outfield wall. There goes the runner. The 1-1 is fouled back to the screen. LeBounty upset with himself as Kiefer would have had second, no problem.
I think he saw the big hole on the right side open up too. He was trying to shoot one down there. This ball just rode way too far outside for him to get a bat on it. Barely tipped it.
1-2 the count. Looks like the bird has now made it out of our shot here, but right down the first base side, and yeah, it doesn't seem to care there's baseball going on. So that's all right. 2 out, runner at first. The 1-2 coming from Brock Graber to Drew LeBounty. LeBounty lines it into center field for a base hit. Kiefer will make it into second as the ball gets in front of Vogelbach. And now back-to-back singles with 2 outs for Pensacola Catholic. Here's Cody Henry, the left fielder, who drove in a run with a fielder's choice in the first. He's walked and hit into a double play, so 0 for 2. 8 hits now for Pensacola Catholic, 7 for Bishop Verot.
Henry is overdue, and he's 0 for 2.
Swing and a miss by Henry. It's 0-1.
The approach on the soft throw or Graber is to stay within the ball, let it travel, hit it the other way rather than trying to reach out in front.
And that misses 1-1. So Graber, for the first time today, gives up a run, giving up the run here in the bottom of the 6th. Came home on the balk with 2 outs. Michael Neal, the courtesy runner, or the pinch runner, scoring. Wheels to second, nobody there. One the count. The pitch is hit to second. Breton has it on to first in time, and that ends the inning for Pensacola Catholic. But they pick up another run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We go now to the 7th. Pensacola Catholic 3 outs away from the 4A state championship. They lead Bishop Verot 7-2 here on the FHSAA network. Back to Port St. Lucie in 1 minute. All right, we go to the top of the 7th. 3 more outs for Pensacola Catholic, and they will be 4A state champs, leading at 7-2 over Bishop Verot. Evan Doherty, the first baseman, will lead off for the Bishop Verot Vikings. 1 for 2. He's flown to right, and his single was caught stealing in the 4th inning. Cooper Jones will try to finish it off as the folks on the third base side in the green and white, the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders, hope to celebrate their 2nd state championship, the other one being in 2003. And by the way, while we're thinking about it, 3 outs, and will be the end of our broadcasting year for the FHSAA network. And first of all, I want to thank Mark Schambach, who's been here every game except one, as Doherty fouls it off over third base coach's box. We've enjoyed it this week. Great analysis. I don't know how you've been able to get through every game because Mike Rideout and I switch. But thank you. You saved our voice a little bit.
Well, it's always fun to watch baseball, and to comment about it is just another bonus. Appreciate you having me on the air.
Yeah, we'll do it again, I'm sure. This is Low One-on-One.
If this game goes as it's been going and is over in a short amount of time, there's going to be a little bit of time to fill for our broadcasting partners to our left. This game is brisk. We're only an hour and 40 minutes in, and we are 3 outs away.
1-2 the count. Right-hander in the bullpen for Pensacola Catholic. Just in case Cooper Jones, who's been very solid since the first, hit up in the middle. That gets off of Jones. It'll get to LeBounty, and he will have no play. It's an infield hit for Doherty, who's 2 for 3. Hit that ball sharply off Jones, and we'll take time out and check him out.
Looked like it caught him in the rump.
Avery Geyer is warming up in the bullpen. Wow. 7 innings pitched yesterday, and just in case he's needed. It's the 8th hit of the game for Bishop Verot, but runner at first, nobody out. Here's Frankie Romano 0 for 2. But we want to thank our crew, and we've worked with this crew now. Mike Rideout and I have for basketball, football, track, softball, baseball. Gotten to know these guys really well. And let's look forward to doing it again next year. That's in for a strike 0-1. Keith Gamble, our director. Directs almost all the games, and he'll be heading to do Marlins baseball. Brian Bredenbeck, who also, our cameraman, also is a director a few games.
Keith Gamble, Senior Cesta.
1-1 the count as the pitch misses to Romano. Also John Arrivo down there in the truck, also out on cameras as well. Mitch Rubenstein was here earlier in the week. Ray Koliakovo, hope I said that right, fouled off and out of play. It's 1-2.
If you say it fast enough, it sounds like you got it right.
And also Gavin Gordon and Mike Bajer. Hope I got that right. Sorry. But okay, thank you. I got them all right. Thanks to all the guys. We've been working with them since December on all these finals. And also our coordinating producer, Mike Phillips, back in Atlanta. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And down goes Romano for the 2nd time today, 1 out. Mike Phillips helps set up all these events for us, and he's worked with us all year in these. And, of course, Mike Rideout, who I've worked with since 2006. So I know him pretty well. We've enjoyed working the finals again with him this year.
I'd like to thank all the fine people here at Digital Domain Park. Kept us fed well while we were here.
Yes, they did. First pitch to Brock Gruber is inside 1-0. Graber 1 for 2 today. Runner at first, 1 out. Geyer quickly done throwing. Yes, they did feed us well down there, the Volunteers and the employees of the St. Lucie Mets. As that's down the middle for a strike, 1-1. Thanks to the FHSAA Executive Director Roger Deering, also Corey Sobers, their media specialist, and Christina Braska, the baseball athletic director, who's we've known as well now for about 6 years, helping us with these finals. Fouled off out of play, and it's 1-2 to Graber. So a lot of people to thank, and thanks to the Fairfield Inn in Fort Pierce. We've been there for what seems like a month now. We enjoyed being there as well. This is the longest event we have during the year, 8 days, and we've been here 9 days almost. 1-2 on the way. It's popped up. That'll get out of play off to the left, and it remains 1-2. Runner is at first base, 1 out. Still 2 more outs needed for the Crusaders.
Well, I don't know if all the Crusaders are checked out of the Fairfield Inn up there, but if they haven't, there's going to be a party
That'll be the place
going on
to be
all
tonight.
night at that pool tonight.
That'll be the place to be tonight. 1-2. Fouled back to the screen. Graber stays alive at 1-2. Hits now even at 8 apiece. And Verot has had a few opportunities since the first, but haven't been able to cash in any runs. 1 out. Doherty not being held on at first. Jones looks in. The 1-2 is popped up. It's going to make it into left field, and there is no LeBounty going to give way to Henry. LeBounty then falls down, and Henry makes the play for the second out. Graber pops up to Henry. 2 outs, and Bobby Brennan's the last hope for Bishop Verot. It's been another great year for Bishop Verot. They were 29-2 coming into this game. But you kind of had the feeling Pensacola Catholic was on a mission this year after losing the state championship game a year ago. And boy, with that 6-run first inning, they made sure of it.
It's a building process. Coach LeBounty said it prepared them for this year.
There goes the runner. Strike 1 to Bobby Brennan. Doherty steals second without a throw. 1 for 2 is Brennan today. Cooper Jones' pitch is a little bit low, 1-1.
Jones slipped a little bit on his release as his front foot landed. Didn't catch a good footing, so a little off balance with that release.
Only 3 strikeouts for Jones, but no walks, and got him down for about 7 or 8 pop flies. Hit into left field, gets past the third baseman. Doherty will hold up as Henry gets the ball in just past the outstretched glove of Chase Kiefer. And Brennan keeps the game alive with his second hit of the game. First and third, 2 outs. Back to the top of the order in Josh Garcia. This game not over yet. 9th hit of the game for Bishop Verot.
Well, at least Verot's Vikings will get a chance to get their top of the order involved here. Yes, we are at the top with Josh Garcia.
Garcia 2 for 3, 2 singles. He scored a run in the first, also has flown to left. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1.
Runner at first base, cautious, making sure there was no fake to third type of a move. Once he's sure runner's going home, taking off.
There goes the runner to second. Chop to Jones. Throw to first in time, and the Crusaders are the state champs for 2012 in 4A. There's the dog pile over
Jones
between
is mobbed.
First and home. Cooper Jones, 2 runs he gave up in the first and did not allow another run the rest of the game. Richard LeBounty hugging his coaching staff over in front of the Pensacola Catholic dugout.
Thanking the family and friends and his
29 years, and he thanks Sister Martin as well, the principal. 29 years for Richard LeBounty as he runs to join the celebration, his 2nd state championship, and there he goes into the picture.
Hugging his son.
He hugs Drew. He won a title in 2003 with his older son. He wins one in 2012. There's Sister Martin taking pictures. Pensacola Catholic, their 2nd state title, 2003 and now in 2012, and they get revenge on the Bishop Verot Vikings, winning it 7-2. 7 runs, 8 hits, and no errors for Pensacola Catholic. 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Bishop Verot. Great season for them, ends at 29-3. Pensacola Catholic state champs at 27-3, and it was a 6-run first inning. That was what Pensacola Catholic needed, got them on top, and that was more than enough to get them the victory today. All right.
Well, we've got a wrap-up of 24 baseball games in 8 days.
Yeah, we'll review the state champions. 8A, it was Sport Orange Spruce Creek. 7A, Venice. 6A, Archbishop McCarthy from Southwest Ranches, 3rd in a row, ties the state record. 5A, Plantation American Heritage. 4A, Pensacola Catholic. 3A, earlier today, Jacksonville Providence. And 2A was Deltona Trinity Christian, and in 1A, Union County. Those are your state champs. I don't know how I remembered all that, but I did.
That was excellent. Marty, if they want a DVD of this game, how do they get that?
Well, of course, they go to FHSAsports.com, and that's not just this game. Any game of the 2012 FHSAA Baseball Finals, and if you're a Crusader fan, I'm sure you want to take home the memory of this one. Again, that's FHSAsports.com for a DVD of this broadcast. Okay, well, that is going to do it for our coverage from Digital Domain Park in Port St. Lucie. This has been a production of Play On Sports and the FHSAA Network. For Mark Schambeck, for Mike Radot, and our entire crew here in Port St. Lucie, I'm Marty Palman saying so long from Port St. Lucie. Our final score in this 4A final, Pensacola Catholic 7, Bishop Verot 2. Congratulations to to the Pensacola Catholic Crusaders. Good afternoon from Digital Domain Park.